Welcome back to Family Gamer TV and our world exclusive on Grilla Drilla. Now I just want to have a really close look at how the model is made. I've got these really super high res pictures that just splashing them up on screen doesn't necessarily do justice to just how much detail has gone into this model. So let's zoom in on the different parts of Grilla Drilla and sort of talk you through what's here, what we're seeing and what's involved in creating this character. So firstly, obviously, he's a life Skylanders Swap Force figure, and you can see that by the base here at the bottom. All the life figures, as I'm sure you all know, share that base. Now, the size of the base for the Swap Force figures is somewhere between that of the Giants and that of the normal core Skylanders. It's interesting to see that they haven't felt the need to continue those supersized figures, and also that they want to leave space for the Giants to be giant and to be the biggest Skylander figures we have to date. Maybe down the line they'll have some bigger ones, but at the moment the Giants still sort of reign in terms of which is the biggest Skylander. And for me, I think T-Rex is probably the biggest of the Giants. Now, of course, at the bottom here we have the blue translucent stand. Now that is significant for all the Swap Force figures. That's where you'll be able to tell them apart, not only in the packaging, but when you've got them out of the packaging. Important if for some of the Series 2 figures, Series 3 figures as well, where they're re-releasing Skylanders, you better tell which game that they're associated with. And of course, all the Swap Force figures are available in a Swap Force game, but you can also bring forward all your old Skylanders as well. Now, on the base, it's interesting to see that he's a digger. This is the Swap Force zone that he'll be able to enter. And that is represented by that gold hexagon with a little spade in it. But I was interested to see that they were quite happy to let that sort of symbol be slightly eroded by the sort of moulding around it, and to sit sort of in almost as if it's under some of that earth there. And you can see as a separate piece, maybe part 2 of this figure is his drill element. You can see where it joins to the base. It's a corkscrew drill, and this is where, inside there he's hiding his legs, which must be kind of cramped. I imagine him inside sort of on tiptoes to sort of get his feet inside his drill. And that is where you can sort of have that drill attack and use drill to navigate the levels. Moving up towards his torso, obviously this is where you've got the third part of this Skylanders Swap Force figure, and this is where he will detach at the belt area there, giving you 2 parts. Now the top part and the bottom part will both be able to be upgraded separately, but it'll be the top part where all his experience, all his money is stored. So although you're able to spend that experience and that money on either the top or the bottom and they'll retain it, the money goes with Grilla Drilla's top half, as with all the Skylanders Swap Force figures. Moving up the upper torso, you can see that there's a separate element to this toy which gives him his driller sort of hat, almost like a hard hat that you'd wear on a building site. And then the rest of the toy here, his gorilla arms there, a nice pair of guns, and his big sort of fist and drill attachments to his fist seem to be one moulding. And in terms of paint passes on this figure, you can see there's a lot of gold being used. Now there's going to be some care applied there to how that they're creating that gold effect, because create too much of it and it will look very matte and not very realistic. And what they want is to create that shine. So there was probably a couple of paint passes on the gold where they'll be highlighting certain areas to stand out and give Grilla Drilla that real sort of pop to how he looks. In his face, now this is an area where they spend an awful lot of time and attention. You can see, if you peer into his eyes, you can see not only are the whites very defined, but also he's got an iris, and then the retina part all sort of coloured, and even a little dot of daylight shine you can see in his eyes. Moving down to his mouth, you can see he's sort of grimacing, giving him a slightly sort of like gnarly, but you better watch out kind of look. His teeth quite well defined. Now, Skylanders figures, they don't outline the teeth like you would see in some other toy lines to sort of give them like a real sort of separate identity to each tooth, but just happy just to paint that white. Bit of shading around the mouth just to give the mouth and nose some definition. So there you go. If we pull back, you can see the full effect. And these toys that don't come to look like this by chance. There's an awful lot of effort and planning and iteration. So they'll create the 3D model, they'll iterate on that in the studio, go off to the toy manufacturers. Then that'll come back, and then they'll do draw overs where they'll take the figure, take a picture of it, and draw over it, highlighting different bits that they want to change. That again will go back to the toy manufacturers. That will come back again. They'll do another draw over. And Iway was particularly famous for this when the first 2 games will be meticulously picking over. And I wouldn't be surprised if he's had his hand in some of the checking and the proofing of these figures for Skylanders Swap Force. Of course, the game really sits with Vicarious Visions, and they've certainly done a really good job in bringing this forward to like a next generation of consoles and next generation of players as my kids are growing up and more of them getting into it. So there you go, that's our close-up look at this super high-res image we've got of Grilla Drilla. So, like and comment on the video. We want to know what you think. Is he going to be a favourite Skylanders Swap Force character for you? And also, who do you think should voice him? We've not heard a voice yet. That's not part of the assets they've released. Is there a particular voice actor or character actor you think would be perfect for Grilla Drilla? What nationality should he be? How should he sound? Why not sort of maybe even do a video response with your impressions of who you think he should sound like? Are there other video game voice actors you think would be well suited for this particular Skylanders Swap Force figure? So if you do drop a subscribe, it means next time we've got a video, you'll get a little notification in your inbox to say, hey, Family Gamer TV got a new thing for you to look at, and you can be in first. That's all we've got time for today, but check back for more. We'll be down on the show floor, interviewing some more Skylanders Swap Force developers and seeing with hands-on more figures.